I have a lot of thoughts to share with you in today's khutbah, and I hope that you can bear with me and inshallah ta'ala follow along the thought process that I think will lead to something beneficial for myself and all of you. The first thing I want to talk to you about is an ayah unrelated to this khutbah, at least it seems that way in the beginning. It is a phrase that recurs in the Quran many times, لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. In the exact words of Surah Al-Baqarah, فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَا فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Allah talking to Adam alayhi salam, and through him all of us, whoever follows my guidance when they come to this earth, then if they were to follow my guidance, then there's not going to be any fear on them, nor will there be any grief. So I want to start this khutbah with these two emotions, fear and grief, and just mention some things about them that are very important for the subject matter at hand. What I want to tell you is that actually when somebody follows the revelation of Allah, Allah's promise is that they will not be overwhelmed with grief nor with fear. Both of those things are going to be removed. But actually the converse is also true. When somebody is overwhelmed with fear or somebody is overwhelmed with grief, then their view of revelation, their view of the guidance of Allah becomes skewed. It becomes corrupted. Now what do I mean? When somebody's very scared, fear, when somebody's very, very scared, then they see something, some truth in the word of Allah. They see something that Allah would want you to declare openly, but you're too afraid of the consequences. And out of fear, you hide what you would say and would have bad consequences on you. You might lose your job for speaking the truth. Somebody in your family might not want to hear what you have to say, even though it's the truth. And even though it's the just thing to do, the right thing to do, you won't say it because of the fear of consequences. So people abandon guidance sometimes in personal life, in personal decisions, because of fear. On the other hand though is grief. And grief can transform slowly into anger and rage. You know, somebody's sad in the beginning over something happened and then it makes them angry. And this is a common transition. Now with sadness and anger together, the thing to understand is you want to justify your anger. You want to speak out against someone. You want to retaliate. And now you start using the religion, the Quran, the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and you start picking out ayat, picking out a hadith that justify your anger. So on the one hand, there is someone who holds back and maybe only picks the ayat and a hadith that can maybe keep them safe out of fear. And they don't want to talk about things that they consider dangerous. And on the other hand, somebody says, I don't care. I'm going to justify my rage and my anger and use the book of Allah for it. And these are both abuses of the book of Allah. The book of Allah is guidance for people who can control their anger, they can control their fear, they can control their sadness.